From a biblical standpoint, I have a God-given right to protect my animals. If I have dominion over my cattle, I should be able to protect them at all costs.
I didn't think in my lifetime that I would ever see this happen.
Sometimes I often think we look at laws, especially ones that have been there forever, as something that'll never change. Just because someone put it there ages ago and it stayed that way doesn't mean it's set in stone, and most certainly doesn't mean they got it right. It honestly just means no one stood up and said, wait a minute, that makes zero sense. And in this case, it was long overdue, but someone finally did.
So I decided to reach out to you because I had watched the South Dakota show and seen how James had, pretty much got everything changed in South Dakota for the benefit of the ranchers.
We're actually in Pierce, South Dakota. That's the state capital. We're working on a piece of legislation to amend a current law that will allow us landowners, cattle operators, and basically farmers to use a higher caliber round to hunt predators at night on our own ground with a couple guests. Something that, should be our right anyway.
What O'Neill Ops did, they paved the way for this to be done. I mean, they showed this can be done.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Committee. My name is James O'Neill. I'm a fourth-generation farmer and rancher from South Dakota. We own and operate about 10,000 acres, 500 head of Angus cattle. So I take this concern fairly intensely. Basically, the way that I'm looking at this is you're putting a right back into the landowner's hands to protect the animals that we raise for your food.
With the new law, the way it's currently written now, you can go out as a landowner or a lessee. You can go out and you can hunt coyotes at night without any caliber restriction anymore. You can use whatever you want. You can have thermal, artificial light, night vision, however you want to do it. As far as the gun goes, it's any legal means it takes and perform the nuisance predator control.
And that's a huge step for Oklahoma. Because before, a rancher was literally limited to a shotgun with 6-shot. That's birdshot at night, which is absolutely ridiculous.
As I said, this is my God-given right, is to protect them cattle. And it's not just the beef guys, it's the chicken guys, it's the pork producers, it's anybody that has some kind of production that these coyotes or whatever can eliminate.
Justin and his hunting partner Darren were an absolute blast the entire time we were there. Ronnie and I had a blast, and you could just tell, just like us, these guys were really great friends that go way back.
Put it right on him. Shot, dude.
It's kind of weird to me. I call him Bustin'. Everybody else calls him Justin, and I can't even remember. I've called him Bustin' for so long. Me and that guy got suspended from school one time for telling the truth. I mean, that's how far back. We've learned some hard life lessons together. I'm sure there's some dirt, but that is one of the hardest working men that I know. He goes above and beyond in pretty much everything that he does. You're not gonna find a person that will put more effort into just getting stuff done. We talk a lot of smack on each other for sure. But at the end of the day, there's a reason we've hung out for as long as we have.
Can you hold him up beside you for a second?
I could also tell right from the start, Darren, aka Staley, really needed someone to give him a hard time.
I want to see how long I can get her to hold him. All right, hold him right there. Hey, hang on, you're dropping. Just jacking. Oh, hey, hang on. He's just jacking with you. Hey, good job.
Can't work under these conditions.
If you don't think Oklahoma had a problem and was in bad need of new night hunting laws, look at that. If you count, that's 7 full-grown coyotes in the middle of a calving pasture.
So I was getting frustrated when I originally was trying to make this push to get this new legislation passed. The legislation was written, it was already there, but it wasn't ever making it to the agenda. Yeah, I would get on the agenda every day of the House of Representatives or the Senate and see what they were working on, see if the bill had made it to where it would be heard. It wouldn't be there. There'd be 25 different medical marijuana legislations and whatnot. So I would just start sending these messages to these legislators, expressing my frustration how they can get all these medical marijuana laws passed, but they can't do something to allow the rancher to simply protect their livelihood.
And I'd say this is reason enough to need protection.
Take your time. Yeah, go. That's probably one of the craziest stands I think I can ever in my life remember.
Oh yeah.
Kept saying we had to just get around some coyotes, and good grief. I didn't expect to see that many in one spot.
We've never had that many coyotes come in on a string right to us, almost running us over. And it looked like a Christmas tree of eyes coming. It was definitely a chaotic scenario. 6, 7?
There were 6 or 7 of them. That's so chaotic it's so much easier to communicate when you're trying to shoot and be on the right coyote.
Right.
Left, right, left, right, left. I'm like, we got to pick a coyote at some point,
At that particular time, I was just trying to not screw up anything you guys were doing. You can screw something up, not even intending to, and in fact, trying to absolutely avoid screwing anything up. And so when there's 7 coyotes running in, it sure starts to feel like you can screw stuff up real easy.
My whole thing with Oklahoma, I live probably a stone's throw from Oklahoma, and I didn't think in my lifetime that I would ever see this happen.
Right.
I just never thought they would get to the point where you could actually go out and do what we do in Texas. Yeah, go. It's just nice that they're finally coming around and seeing things with today's perspective and not 30 years ago. The laws have been so dated.
To see these other states come in and get it done, and then
Right.
South Dakota,
Kansas.
And of course Texas has always been Texas, and then now Oklahoma, and then we got, Missouri trying to make a big push, and people need to get on that momentum.
Yeah. And the thing is, technology has changed a lot of things. I mean, just from the scope, that 1280 resolution thermal, we can see stuff that you couldn't see 10 years ago.
Right.
But now, those kind of tools are so effective. You can come out here and do this stuff all day long, help landowners kill coyotes, thin them out, and you don't have restrictions, they've literally had their hands tied behind their back.
Absolutely.
Until now, they couldn't protect their cattle. That wad of coyotes right there could do some damage.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a whole group of calves right over there.
Right.
They're just chomping at the bit, waiting for that perfect opportunity.
Right. Not like you're asking for anything special. You just want to be able to protect your cattle that you raise for everybody's food that they eat.
Absolutely. You know? That's my God-given right. And not just for myself, but for other people as well. And this guy, they don't really hunt coyotes or anything, so he's going to appreciate this when he gets a picture. Matter of fact, I already told him, and he was very grateful that we was out there, and we got them too, and then we got one on one of his other places as well.
Well, man, hey, let's keep on rolling. I think they're just now getting up and moving around.
I agree.
That right there never gets old, and you probably got a lot more years ahead of you doing it too.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
Excellent. Good stuff, man. We appreciate the invite for sure.
Yes. We appreciate y'all coming out.
Yeah. Good Lord, that was a freaking wad of them.
The second double that we got of the night, that was at a place where we had gained permission, and we had actually tried hunting it with the old legislation, but it was just impossible. It's so open right there, but this guy, they were having major problems. They had some very aggressive coyotes. They had a miniature horse killed. Coyotes were getting their ducks and their chickens every night. They got sheep. They've had sheep get killed all within the last couple months. So to be able to get that double, that one meant a lot. And he was also grateful.
Guys, we kind of had to give this one a bit of a makeover. I'm just letting y'all know this is not going to be pretty.
So that one got its face blew up. Whenever he stopped, he kind of had his head down. He wasn't just kind of postured up where he had that chest exposed. So he got it in the face.
This is your warning. Look away now. All right. Don't say I didn't warn you.
He got it in the face.
Show me exactly where Ronnie hit him.
Right here. Yeah. Ronnie hit him right here. The way his head was down like that, he hit him right here, and it just a little bit of reconstructive surgery.
If there's ever been a case where a state's night hunting laws needed a complete overhaul, Oklahoma was it. The fact that not only a few short months ago this landowner was told he could only legally protect his livestock with birdshot is borderline laughable. When the night hunting laws in your state are structured not in favor of the hardworking rancher who literally raises the food that goes on your table, that's a problem. And it's high time the landowners of all these other states, with their hands tied behind their back, just like Oklahoma's been for ages, it's time they stand up and remind these legislators who they work for. And it ain't the medical marijuana joint down on the street corner. And if there's ever been a time in history to do it, it's now.
The second coyote on that stand, it must have came from a long ways. Maybe 18, 19 minutes into that stand, and we was probably just about ready to call it. Thought it was going to come in like that first one did, but then it started trying to circle downwind, and we almost lost that one. It got to right there to that corner, and he was fixing to leave. He actually turned to leave, and you switched to one of the MFK sounds. And he turned right back around and he came all the way back up the way he came, and then he crossed about where that first one came in.
If you live in a place where you cannot do this, ask yourself why. Who does your state's night hunting laws benefit? There's a reason your state will not allow you to do this. And if that reason doesn't take priority over a hardworking rancher's need to protect against predators, something needs to change. I don't think James fully understood the impact he would make not for South Dakota, but for all the other states that would follow suit in the future, giving way to a movement that seems to be sweeping across this country right now. South Dakota, Kansas, and now Oklahoma are proof that change is possible. The iron is hot, folks. It just needs the right person to strike.
So if I was to tell someone that being faced with these same kind of problems, whether they can't hunt at night or whether they can hunt at night but they have silly restrictions like we had, I would tell them that just because it's been written in legislation doesn't mean it's written in stone. You can change it, and I would encourage them to get a hold of them legislators and get on the bullhorn and speak your case to them and use this momentum of these other states doing this right now. You have all this data where you have these other states now, or you got South Dakota, and Texas has always been this way, and you got Kansas, and now you got Oklahoma. Utilize this opportunity to jump on the bandwagon, and you can use it to your advantage to get it done.
Well, there is still one thing off limits at night in Oklahoma.
Who's your daddy? Hey, who's your daddy? Come back here. Get your butt back here.
The state of Oklahoma will never be the same, thanks to the effort of two lifelong friends, both with a passion for night hunting as well as a personal need for change. Every night hunter in this state owes these guys for not giving up till something got done.
This change, and what it means to me, is my hands are not cuffed anymore. No longer will I not be able to protect the animals that I have, or no longer will I be able to not help another landowner protect the animals that they have. This new legislation is exactly what we needed at this time, with everything that we're already up against, everything we're already facing, all the struggles we're already facing. If we can save one or two calves that would have been eliminated by coyotes, be able to put that money in our pockets and be able to put that money back in the economy, it matters.
As a Texan looking outward, I see an open slate for every state left yet to see the light. From my perspective, there's no reason your night hunting laws shouldn't already be this way. If they're not, are you going to be the one to stand up and make a difference? Or will you just keep on saying, man, I wish we could do that here? Like I said, the iron is hot and begging for the right person to strike.